Hi Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising signs, welcome. This is your 2026 August forecast. If you feel called to watch this reading but you don't have any Libra placements, you're more than welcome to still stay and watch. There's probably a message in this video that you're meant to hear. I'm going to start with a very quick overview of what's happening astrologically in August, and then we'll move into the tarot questions, just to see how these energies may be affecting you personally. As always, please remember this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's get straight into it. Okay, August begins with your ruling planet Venus moving into Libra, which can feel like a return to yourself. You may feel more confident, magnetic, and ready to focus on your own needs, appearance, or personal happiness. However, Venus is also making some intense connections, so relationships may bring both excitement and uncertainty. Be careful not to romanticize someone's potential or overlook mixed signals simply because you want to see the best in them. The Leo Solar Eclipse activates your friendships, community, and future goals. A new connection, collaboration, or opportunity may begin, while certain friendships or aspirations could naturally fall away. You may also feel pushed to become more visible, share your work, or surround yourself with people who genuinely support where you're going. At the same time, Saturn and Neptune are retrograde in your relationship sector, so commitment, boundaries, and honesty are major themes. Some connections may become more serious, while others may reveal where things have been unclear or one-sided. Mars also moves through your career sector, bringing motivation and movement professionally, but you may need to avoid reacting emotionally to pressure or trying to prove yourself to everyone. Finally, the Pisces Lunar Eclipse highlights your work, health, and daily routines. Something about your schedule, responsibilities, or habits may no longer be sustainable, and August could show you where you need to slow down, create healthier boundaries, and stop carrying more than your share. Overall, August is helping Libra step into greater confidence, become clearer about relationships, and move towards a future that feels more aligned. And with that, we're going to move into the tarot, beginning with our first question. What identity or version of yourself is Libra leaving behind throughout August? Okay, this feels like Libra is leaving behind a version of themselves that kept looking backwards for a new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles with the Six of Cups here can show wanting to rebuild something connected to the past. Whether that's an old relationship, friendship, dream, or even an earlier version of yourself. You may have been holding onto the belief that if the right opportunity appeared, you could make an old situation work differently this time. But the world tells me that this chapter has already reached its natural conclusion. There's nothing more you need to prove, repair, or repeat in order to receive closure. The lesson has already been completed, Libra. The King of Swords feels like the version of Libra emerging from this. You're becoming more discerning, direct, and honest with yourself, rather than making decisions through nostalgia, guilt, or emotional attachment. You're beginning to look at what is actually true. For some Libras, this may also mean leaving behind the identity of being the person who always keeps the door open, just in case somebody returns or something changes. August is helping you close that door peacefully, not because the past meant nothing, but because you now understand that it has taken you as far as it can. The next question we're looking at is, what is the Leo solar eclipse beginning in Libra's life? Okay, I just want to say, I swear the Empress has appeared almost for every sign so far, which feels significant. Collectively, this eclipse is opening a chapter of growth, creation, abundance, and becoming more confident in what we have to offer. For Libra specifically, the Seven of Swords suggests this new beginning may require you to become more selective about who has access to you, your ideas, and your plans. You may begin moving more quietly, protecting something while it grows, rather than announcing it before it's ready. Because this eclipse activates your friendships, community, and future goals, some Libras may also recognize where certain people have not been completely genuine or supportive. You could be stepping away from environments where you've felt you need to shrink yourself, hide your success, or question whether you truly belong. Then the Empress with the Nine of Pentacles is beautiful energy for becoming more secure, independent, and comfortable in your own value. This may be the beginning of a creative project, business opportunity, or personal goal that allows you to build something for yourself. It can also show Libra no longer chasing inclusion or approval. Instead, you're creating your own abundance and naturally attracting people who appreciate what you bring. The Seven of Swords can sometimes represent self-sabotage, so the eclipse may also reveal where you've been quietly talking yourself out of opportunities. The Empress and the Nine of Pentacles are reminding you that you're more capable and valuable than you may have allowed yourself to believe. So moving on to the next question, what is expanding for Libra in love, creativity, or personal happiness throughout August? Okay, so I have to point out first that every single card here is a sword card. And while I was shuffling, the cards kept flipping upright, then turning back down inside the deck. So I'm honestly not surprised to see such intense, restless mental energy coming through. What may be expanding this month is not necessarily an external romantic situation straight away, but your awareness of the thoughts and emotional wounds that have been limiting your happiness. The Knight of Swords can show the mind moving extremely quickly. You may feel an urgency to get answers, confront somebody, or understand where you stand. But the Nine and Eight of Swords suggest that the more you chase certainty, the more trapped you could feel inside your own thoughts. The Three of Swords points to an unresolved disappointment, rejection, or heartbreak that may still be influencing how you approach love. This does not have to mean that new heartbreak is coming. It can represent an old pain becoming louder because it's finally ready to be acknowledged and released. Some Libras may realize that fear has been writing the story before anything has actually happened. You could be expecting rejection, assuming the worst, or overanalyzing another person's words and actions because of what you've experienced previously. So the expansion here is awareness. August is showing you exactly where your thoughts have been restricting your ability to receive love, create freely, or enjoy the present moment. The next question we're looking at is, what relationship truth does Libra need to see throughout August? Okay, so first thing I want to say is the King of Swords appearing again feels very important. Libra is being asked to look at relationships through truth, discernment, and clear thinking, not only through emotion, history, or what they hope something could become. The Ten of Pentacles shows that you're looking for something lasting. You may want commitment, security, loyalty, and a connection that can genuinely become part of your future. This is not the energy of wanting something casual or inconsistent. But the Nine of Wands here suggests that you may be tired from everything you have already experienced. You could be approaching love with your guard up, waiting for the next disappointment, or feeling as though you always have to protect yourself. For some Libras, the relationship truth is that a connection may have long-term potential, but it cannot grow while important conversations are being avoided. The King of Swords asks for honesty around expectations, commitment, and whether both people genuinely want the same future. For others, the truth may be that you've remained loyal to a person or situation simply because you invested so much time into it. The Ten of Pentacles can represent the future you imagined, but the King of Swords asks you to separate that imagined future from what the relationship is actually offering you now. The Nine of Wands says you're resilient, but you should not have to remain in survival mode just to keep a connection alive. The relationship that is right for you should offer stability without requiring you to constantly defend your needs, question where you stand, or prepare yourself to be heard again. Now we're going to look at what is happening around Libra's home or family life throughout August. Okay, Libra, the moon suggests there may initially be some uncertainty, emotional sensitivity, or something happening beneath the surface within the home or family. You may not have the full picture yet, or somebody may be keeping their feelings to themselves. However, the Knight and Queen of Pentacles bring much more grounded energy. Something that has felt unsettled may slowly begin to stabilize through patience, practical decisions, and somebody choosing to take responsibility. For some Libras, this could involve improving the home, creating greater financial security, or making a gradual move toward a more comfortable living situation. The Queen of Pentacles can also represent a supportive maternal or nurturing figure becoming important this month. The Ace of Cups shows emotional renewal. There may be an opportunity to heal a family relationship, have a heartfelt conversation, or create a home environment that feels much safer and more emotionally fulfilling. It can also point towards happy news involving the family, a new beginning within the home, or simply feeling emotionally connected again after a period of uncertainty. The message here is not to let fear fill in the gaps while everything is still unfolding. What begins with confusion appears to move towards greater stability, care, and emotional openness. The next question we're looking at is, what is the Pisces Lunar Eclipse asking Libra to release? Okay, the very first thing I'm going to point out is we have 2 3s here with the 3 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. That repetition feels important. 3s are connected to growth, expansion, communication, and the people or environments surrounding you. They can also show that something has moved beyond the initial idea stage and is now revealing whether it has real potential. The 3 of Wands here suggests you may have been waiting for something to develop, waiting for an opportunity, a person, or a future plan to finally move forward. Then the 3 of Cups can point towards friendships, social circles, collaborations, or connections that once brought joy but may no longer feel aligned. For some Libras, this may involve stepping away from a group dynamic where you feel overlooked, drained, or unable to be fully yourself. The 8 of Cups confirms that this eclipse is asking you to emotionally detach from something you've already outgrown. This is not necessarily an angry or dramatic departure. It can simply be the quiet realization that you cannot keep waiting for fulfillment in a place that continually leaves you wanting more. Then the High Priestess says you already know what this is. Your intuition may have been speaking to you for some time, but perhaps you've been questioning it, making excuses, or waiting for clearer proof. The eclipse may make that inner knowing impossible to ignore. Because this eclipse activates your work, health, and daily routines, some Libras may also be walking away from a schedule, habit, or responsibility that's been draining them emotionally. You're being asked to trust what your body and intuition have been telling you, and to release whatever is preventing you from moving towards something more meaningful. The next question we're going to look at is what can become stable for Libra after August. Okay, this is a positive shift after some of the heavier mental and emotional energy that has appeared throughout this reading, so don't worry. The Page of Wands shows a new direction, idea, or opportunity beginning to take shape. It may feel fresh or unfamiliar, but it brings excitement back into your life and gives you something to look forward to. The Sun suggests that this path brings greater clarity, confidence, and happiness. Something that has felt uncertain may finally become obvious, and you may begin to feel much more secure in who you are and where you're going. The Hierophant is the card that brings the stability here. What begins as an idea, invitation, or spark of inspiration may develop into something more structured and committed. For some Libras, this could be a relationship becoming official, a new role or career path becoming established, or even a creative idea turning into something you can build consistently. The Hierophant can also represent education, guidance, or stepping into a role where you're sharing your own knowledge with others. Together, these cards suggest that stability does not come from returning to what is familiar. It comes from allowing yourself to follow a new path and then giving that path the structure it needs to grow. Something that initially feels playful or experimental may become far more important and long-term than you expect. Now we're going to move on to the Oracle card and see what is Libra's overall advice for navigating August. Alright Libra, you guys got Tribe, Find Your People. And this fits so perfectly with the Leo Solar Eclipse activating your friendships, community, and future goals. August may reveal very clearly which people genuinely support you and which connections you've simply outgrown. You're not being asked to force yourself to fit into spaces where you feel misunderstood, overlooked, or unable to fully be yourself. Your tribe will not require you to shrink, perform, or constantly question whether you belong. These are the people who celebrate your growth, encourage your ideas, and allow the friendship to feel mutual. This may also connect back to the Three of Cups and Eight of Cups. Part of finding your people may involve being willing to walk away from social circles, collaborations, or friendships that no longer feel emotionally aligned. The Page of Wands, the Sun, and the Hierophant from before suggest that a new community, opportunity, or path could eventually become something stable and important. You may find your people through work, study, creativity, spirituality, or simply by having the courage to follow what genuinely excites you. So your advice for August is to stop chasing acceptance in the wrong rooms. Trust that as you become more honest about who you are and where you're going, the right people will begin finding you too. That is everything I have for you, Libra. As always, take what resonates and leave anything that doesn't. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading.